Hello everyone! The Steam Bullet Fest just dropped and it is easily one of the best sales of the year if you love fast-paced roguelite shooters. Today, I'm bringing you a list of the 15 absolute best bullet hell and roguelike shooters on Steam that you need to grab immediately while they are sitting at a massive 40 to 80% off. Well, let's get into the list. If you look at Vampire Survivors and think, yeah, but what if I could aim the gun myself? This game is your dream. Vampire Hunters is an absolutely unhinged first-person bullet hell shooter where you don't just hold one or two weapons, you literally stack up to 14 guns in your hands at the exact same time. You are basically a walking, breathing hardware store running through gothic corridors blasting thousands of vampires into red mist. At 65% off, it is a total steal if you want to turn your brain off and be a heavy metal lawnmower.
And survive the mayhem.
AK-xolotl Together answers the ancient question, what happens if you hand a fully loaded automatic rifle to the world's cutest amphibian? It is a brutally fast top-down shooter where you control a trigger-happy AK-xolotl on an absolute rampage. You blast through rogue animals, collect ingredients to cook permanent stat boosts, and literally breed a tiny army of deadly baby axolotls. The Together update adds chaotic co-op, so you can bring a friend to a knife fight. Snag it at 60% off for pure adorable violence. Do not let the incredibly generic name fool you. Yet Another Zombie Survivors is easily one of the most satisfying horde survival-like games on the market. Instead of controlling a single lonely hero, you recruit a tight 3-man tactical squad of specialized soldiers, like an absolute Chad SWAT guy with a shield and a scientist with a laser beam. Your team shoots automatically, leaving you to steer them through an endless ocean of the undead. It is pure, low-stress, tactical dopamine, and at a 50% discount, your wallet won't complain. Last Man Sitting is quite literally the most ridiculous concept for an action roguelite I have ever seen. You play as a deadpan office businessman sitting in a rolling office chair who can only move around using the intense physical recoil of shotguns and rocket launchers. The main loop has you fighting off endless, brutal waves of sentient office appliances, like murderous copy machines. You level up mid-run, drafting from over 200 ridiculous power-ups to build insane weapon combos. It also features a chaotic 4-player PvP arena mode. At 75% off, it is absolute physics comedy gold.
Put down your weapon.
If you want a space shooter that forces you to use your brain along with your twitch reflexes, you need to check this out. Galactic Glitch is a top-down roguelike shooter with an incredible gravity gun mechanic straight out of Half-Life. Instead of just shooting regular lasers, you can grab giant space rocks, explosive mines, or literal enemy spaceships and launch them directly back at the alien horde. The physics are incredibly satisfying, and at an 80% discount, it is a magnificent hidden gem you shouldn't sleep on. CounterAttack Uprising is a massive love letter to classic old-school side-scrolling space shooters like Gradius, but heavily loaded with modern roguelite customization. You pick your ship, team up with up to 4 friends on the couch in local split screen, or join up to 8 players online to blast through screen-filling waves of alien armadas. The best feature is the weapon modding system. You can attach automated turrets and homing missiles to turn your ship into a floating apocalypse. Grab it at 80% off if you miss that retro arcade rush. If you want to experience what it feels like to possess the ultimate power of an angry god, Soulstone Survivors will give you exactly that. The game takes the automated Horde Battler loop and injects gorgeous 3D graphics and mind-blowing elemental magic. You can summon giant meteors, chain lightning, and literal earthquakes until your entire monitor screen is covered in beautiful, colorful particle explosions. It is the perfect game to play while listening to a podcast, and at 40% off, it's an absolute no-brainer for survival-like fans.
We forged our strength.
Think of Neon Abyss as a neon-soaked cyberpunk mashup of Enter the Gungeon and a fast-paced 2D action platformer. You are a member of the Grim Squad, dropping straight into the underworld to blast the new gods of modern technology like the god of mobile video games. The cool twist is the egg hatching mechanic. You collect pets that evolve as you play to block shots or shoot lasers. It is vibrant, fast, and features awesome dungeon mechanics. At 75% off, it's an essential pickup. Dead Estate is a wonderfully spooky, high-energy, isometric, roguelike shooter that feels like a classic Halloween cartoon come to life. You are trapped inside a massive, monster-infested mansion with 8 floors of absolute chaos, fighting off cultists, zombies, and a giant creepy hand that chases you if you take too long. You can pick from a wide cast of unique characters, like a shotgun-wielding trucker or a magical witch, and buy absurd weapons. At 66% off, it is a brilliant indie gem that is tough as nails. MOTHERGUNSHIP features one of the most wonderfully chaotic weapon crafting systems in first-person shooter history. It's a bullet hell FPS roguelite where you snap together modular gun parts on a grid with hilarious freedom. Want to craft a 12-barrel shotgun that shoots bouncing plasma balls? Go for it! The catch is managing your power grid. If you build a ridiculous giant monstrosity, it will instantly drain your battery in one single shot. You run through alien ships dodging neon bullets while testing your weird creations. At 80% off, it is an absolute blast. Brotato is the absolute pinnacle of the arena shooter survival-like genre, starring an angry, heavily armed potato. You drop into a small arena and survive short, 60-second waves of alien monsters while your potato automatically fires up to 6 weapons at once. Between rounds, you buy wacky items like alien eyes or extra armor to create totally broken stat builds. It is dangerously addictive, runs perfectly on practically any computer, and at 40% off, it will steal 50 hours of your life before you even notice. If you love the epic tactical boss fights of massive multiplayer games like Final Fantasy XIV, but you absolutely hate waiting around for a team, this is a masterpiece. Rabbit & Steel reimagines massive MMO raid mechanics into a fast-paced co-op roguelike shooter starring adorable anime bunny girls. You work together with friends to dodge complicated bullet patterns, coordinate shields, and trigger powerful class abilities to take down massive bosses. At 50% off, it is an absolute must-play for anyone who loves the high-stakes rush of a classic raid. Enter the Gungeon is the undisputed legendary king of the twin-stick roguelike genre, and it is a total masterpiece. You choose a character and dive into a living dungeon where literally everything, from the enemies to the walls, is themed around bullets and guns. The gameplay is a tight, unforgiving ballet of dodge rolling through walls of bullets while firing ridiculous weapons like a gun that shoots literal honeybees or exploding mail. It is packed with secrets, incredibly deep, and at a massive 80% off, it is mandatory gaming.
Secret floors.
Gunfire Reborn is an awesome cel-shaded first-person roguelike shooter that feels like Borderlands smashed together with a traditional dungeon crawler. You pick from a roster of cool anthropomorphic heroes, like a dual-wielding dog or a lightning fox, and fight through ancient tombs and desert ruins. The weapon loot drops are insanely fun, letting you combine crazy elemental statuses like fire and corrosive gas to instantly vaporize bosses. At 45% off, it is easily one of the best co-op shooters out there. Taking the throne at number 1 is a breathtaking, high-budget, psychological sci-fi masterpiece. In Returnal, you play as an astronaut trapped on a shape-shifting alien planet where dying literally restarts your time loop. The combat is an incredibly fast, responsive third-person bullet hell where you dash through glowing alien projectiles while managing intense weapon upgrades. It looks stunning, feels smooth as butter, and tells a genuinely haunting story. Getting this premium experience at a massive 67% discount is an absolute steal. That's all for today's list. Subscribe and like for more exciting new roguelike and roguelite games. That's it, and see you next time.